Hello everyone. So I'm back with my questions again. So I'm going into a introduction much tonight and just jumping directly into the questions. So the basic question of today is what is the energy present in a string in string theory. Now this topic is going to interest some good PhD students or some students doing MSc on string theory or interested candidates in pursuing higher courses or students who love to go out of the box and read something out of the book. So I repeat the question. Question is what is the energy present in a string in string theory? So it's dealing with a string and string theory, the two terms that we don't know. Of course we know what's energy, so let's get to the basics and let's know what is string theory. Now I'm going to give you a summary of string theory since that's not my topic to discuss now. So the first assumption that we need to make in string theory is that particles that are involved in string theory are never point like, instead they are vibrational modes of strings. So I am repeating, particles are not point like and they are treated as strings, just like strings of a piano that we have or guitar. So strings are never point like, so we have to think of strings. Now when they're stretched and plucked, they vibrate with a definite frequency. So in string theory we'll observe a string having different vibrational energy and overtones, nodes, etc., all properties related to waves. Now a similar example can be an electron revolving around the nucleus has preferential modes of vibration corresponding to its energy levels. Now a question you might ask, what does an electron have to do here in string theory or in waves, standing waves? Now electron is moving around the nucleus in an elliptical orbit, so it has to do with rotational mechanics or something like that. But what it has to do? So the clear answer is that quantum mechanics clearly says that particle nature and wave nature of an electron are deeply related to each other. So the quantum mechanical motion that an electron does around the proton of the nucleus can be referred to as a standing wave motion. So you can search it online, you will get the picture, the actual picture of an electron revolving around the nucleus, which is an example of standing wave and not a particle like rotationary or revolutionary motion. So next, now I hope I clearly discussed some basic concepts of string theory, and mostly we deal with string theory mostly deals with these strings, their vibrational, their energy, the mass of the string. The mass of the string is indeed a very powerful aspect that we need to know, because energy is related as E equal to mc square by Einstein's equation, and so mass is required because c is the speed of light and we already know the speed of light, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second approx. So we need to know what is the mass of the string and what is the energy present in it and how it depends on various factors. So let's get into it. Now total mass of a string, unlike some other bodies or unlike some electron, unlike some square body, unlike anything we discuss in physics, mass is directly related and directly given or directly related by several Newtonian mechanics law, and we can find out regarding that. But in this case, in string theory, the mass is nothing like that. The mass does not depend only on that. The mass of a string comes from several different contributions, and there are a lot of things in details that we need to discuss in this video to know what is the energy of a string in a string theory. So let's get to the contributions made. First, there is rest mass of string. Now what is rest mass of string? Rest mass is actually the mass present when a body is not moving or when the body is at rest. This can be applied to a simple human body. You might ask, what is if we have rest mass? If we are not moving, we are sitting in a simple place and we have so you can think it like that, that we are sitting in a place and we are in rest position, so we can have rest mass. Yes, of course, that's rest mass, and you have rest energy as well. Now that must be confusing, since how can we have energy if we do no work, if we just sit idle, no displacement, how can energy come, no velocity? So let's not discuss into that. Let's discuss with case of strings or electrons. In electron there is energy. In electron there is rest mass as well, which you of course everyone knows, 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, if I am correct. I don't know, I have forgotten it. So there's rest mass. Now rest mass of string has an account of being stretched from one d0 brane to other. Now branes are something that are present at the ends of the strings, that I will discuss in some later videos, cause it is a different chapter altogether. We should not include it that much. But there is a rest mass of the string which is positive, of course, because mass is positive. We know from mechanics, we know mass is positive. So the rest mass of the string is the first contribution. Second, we have vibrational energy in each overtone. Since I told that strings when plucked and when stretched between the ends vibrate with a definite frequency, so vibrational energies are created, and they have different overtones. Thus, like first harmonic, second harmonic, first overtone, second overtone, third overtone, we have vibrational energy. Now the last thing, the last contribution made to mass of a string is given by quantum fluctuations. There is a minimal amount of quantum fluctuations happening in a string. Question may come, why quantum fluctuations are occurring? Because I have already told in my last video that quantum fluctuations occur due to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. The string has different the uncertainty in position of the string. There is always an uncertainty in position of the string in string theory, or be it in quantum mechanics in case of an electron. Since there is an uncertainty in position, there must be an uncertainty in momentum to match the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So we have quantum fluctuations that are always there. Now the contribution made by quantum fluctuations to energy term is called zero point energy. The term zero point is used because this energy cannot be got ridden off. So quantum zero point energy is the term of this quantum fluctuating energy. Now contribution of quantum fluctuations in energy is always negative. So you can understand that some negative energy is also applied. Now we have come very close to the end of this video. Now all I am asking you to do, please hang out, please watch the video, because there's gonna be some twist, because whatever you are thinking in mind, whatever you are believing now, maybe it will turn a little bit twisty in the end. So I'm not going into that. So first we discussed rest mass of a string. Rest mass a string has, and it has account of stretching the stretching strings, stretching other ends of the strings that are called branes. Now rest mass has a contribution on the string, so it will definitely contribute to energy. Vibrational energy, it's a very important aspect, and everything like electron has vibrational energy, same with string, because when you pluck it, it vibrates with in different frequency modes, and therefore it has energy which can be related as E equal to h nu, but not like that in case of string theory. So and the third factor is quantum fluctuations, which contributes in a negative value to the total energy. This energy is called zero point energy. Zero point term is used because this energy cannot be got ridden off. Now comes the question, what is the total energy then present? So total energy present in the string, in a string theory, in any given string in string theory, is the sum of three energies. Here we go. So total energy present in any given string in a string theory is the summation of three energies, that is rest energy due to rest mass, vibrational energies due to when string vibrates in different overtones, and zero point energy. Now if we add all these, the energy comes to be total mass squared. I mean m square. If the mass is m, then energy is directly proportional to mass square. So we get energy, and as everyone can understand that the given energy is always positive, since it depends on m square. Now square of any mass is always positive, so there's no doubt in that. And since it is m square, it signifies that it's always gonna be positive, so energy is positive. No questions arising in anyone's mind, no, everyone satisfied, and the theory is simplified. So we see rest energy plus vibrational energy plus 0 point energy adds up, and the total energy is directly proportional, or the total energy is given by the square of mass of the given string. Now what is this energy? Now here comes the twist. The energy does depend on m square, but when calculations are made, when the real energy is calculated out, the energy turns out to be negative. These three energies add up to total mass squared, which turns out to be negative. Now it's okay, we know several things have negative energy, but then why write this statement? E proportional to m square. So m is mass, that means mass is positive. If we square it, it's gonna remain positive. Then how come the energy is negative coming? That means m square less than 0. Now you will ask, that's really stupid, that's Voga's video, but how can mass be negative? How is mass imaginary? How is m square less than 0? So I'm gonna end this video in a suspense or thrill for everyone, that there indeed is a presence of negative mass, and the energy is proportional to m square, which turns out to be negative in case of the total energy present in a string in string theory, and it signifies that mass is imaginary. Now this brings in the concept of tachyon and several terms related to it, related to tachyon, tachyonic field, and other terms are also related to it, which I am going to discuss in a later video. So what my main focus in this video was that the total energy present in any given string in string theory. Now we find out that the contribution made to the energy is that of rest energy, which is which may be positive or negative due to the rest mass, which is of course positive. Then there comes vibrational energy due to vibrations or in different frequencies. Then there comes quantum fluctuation energy, which is also known as 0 point energy, which contributes or reduces the energy, since the value of 0 point energy is always negative, let's say like this, and the addition of these three terms adds up to total mass squared, which turns out to be negative. So here we get that m square less than 0. So mass is imaginary, and imaginary mass is known as tachyon, which I am going to discuss in the next video. So you can consider this video to be volume 1, and I will be sure to come out with volume 2 sooner or later. So if you like the video, you can hit the like button and subscribe, and if you don't like it that much, then you can comment on how I can improve things better, or how I can explain things better. So that's it, let's call it a day.